Hey everybody, welcome back. As you can see, I'm still hauling water. Things are going much worse instead of better. We just can't seem to get any rain. And the well driller stopped by yesterday, and I'm still about 4 weeks out before we're gonna get to punch a deep well in here. So I'm still trying to get as much water as I can. This is for the animals. Having a very hard time getting spare water to wash engines, and it's becoming a real nuisance. So let's just go over here for a little bit, and I'll show you a new treasure that came in, and it looks kind of rough. This is a 66 CJ5. And not much to it, but this one is actually going to get restored. You don't hear me talk about family too much because not much family in my life, but this belongs to my uncle from upstate New York, and it just came in last week. He's had this since, I think, new, and kind of like the first family Jeep that I've ever gotten that I want to put back to original. So that's on the back burner, but collecting pieces for it, and we'll get rebuilding that, and I'll show you that along the way. But it looks kind of rough now, but we'll get it back in shape. Okay, just want to let everybody know what's going on with their stuff. This is Jonathan's MB rear, and doesn't look too terrible. There was not much oil in there. Teeth are a little messed up. It's hard to see in the sun. The sun's really beaming in here. And we'll go over to his front axle, if we can get a peek at that. I just want to open them up before I bother sandblasting them. And this one's not too terrible. There's some wear on the teeth, but nothing terrible. We can get those back in shape again. So Jonathan, front and rear end look good. I'll get the covers back on, try and get these guys sandblasted up, and some epoxy primer for you. Okay, some M38 green on Brian's T90 Dana 18 transfer case, and I have his axles finished up. They are in the same green, and everything is brand new in there. These should last another lifetime. And as usual, a bin of Timken bearing boxes. So this one needed everything like they most do, but they're new and they should, like I say, last a lifetime. And we go over to the bench here. I've got Mark's transmission transfer case opened up. Transmission is a disaster. It needs everything. Case is cracked in one area, so the case is no good. I'm going to get a new old stock case for him. Transfer case is missing all its e-brake components. The drum was on there, but somebody stole all the inside stuff. Rust is throughout everything here. But I can save most everything. As usual, the intermediate shaft is all messed up. But not the best stuff, but you know, we'll get through it. And I have a Timken bearing upgrade. You know, I put that in there because I'm super unhappy with the quality of the intermediate shafts. So I have that coming. And we'll just keep chipping away at that stuff. So, not the best news, Mark, but we're getting there. Like I say, we'll just hang in there. We'll get everything rebuilt very nice for you. Okay, guys, here is Russell's CJ5 body. I've got the filler work done around the Jeep stamps. We are seam sealed inside. There's another area needs to be seam sealed. This area needs to be seam sealed, the drains. And it's such a nice day today with no humidity. First time seems like all summer. So I'm going to clean everything down, re-epoxy any areas that I went through, you know, like on the Jeep, and then start the primer. The hood was a little bit of a disaster, but I've got that pretty well straightened out. And windshield came out good. I did not sandblast the dash. Got that VIN sticker way down there. I didn't want to mess that up at all, so I'm going to hand sand this and get some epoxy on that as well today. Epoxy dries pretty fast, and we can move on to the primer. Russell did not want to see any of the spot welds, so you can see I hit all those areas and trying to make it look like he remembers back when he bought it in '74. So I'm going to get busy cleaning things up in here, and I'll show you what I can as it happens. Okay guys, I've got my epoxy primer mixed, just letting that sit there and induce for half an hour. Now you see when I sanded some of this filler, I'm down to bare metal again. Okay, now this is where I see a lot of guys go wrong, and they don't re-epoxy prime on these areas. See clean bright metal there. 2K primer, high build primer, whatever you want to call it, was not meant for bare metal. So this doesn't seem like too big a deal, but it's an important step. I see a lot of guys come right over the bare metal with their 2K primer, and next thing you know, they've got little rust bubbles happening. This is a critical step, and it only adds a few hours of dry time to the whole project, so it's important to do it. Now you can go around and just spot prime things, like you can spot prime here in different areas, but the hood has so much filler on it, I'll give it another full coat. And I've got some gray mixed up so you can see it go down, and I'll probably I mixed up a cup. If I have enough, we'll start squirting the seam sealer. You don't have to shoot the seam sealer. The 2K will stick to that, but a little bit of epoxy won't hurt. So everything is cleaned down, and I'm gonna get the epoxy in the gun, and we will start shooting. I might try and leave the doors open because you get better lighting in here. You can probably see it better. We're not spraying a whole terrible lot, so I'll leave the doors open and the fans off, and I'll just show you. You know, we'll just hit that area, and we'll just keep going down. Little by little, we'll cover all the areas and let it dry, and then we'll be ready to start shooting primer. So hang in there. I will get going in just a second. Okay guys, there it is. It doesn't have to be a super heavy coat. You don't need to put 3 or 4 coats on there. Just want to get that bare metal covered. And you can see we got all the areas. Same thing on the fender. Same thing on this side. We've got all the areas covered, and that is critical. Now directly over this, we're going to go with the SPI high build primer, and we'll probably lay 4 coats down. You can see I put a light coat on all the seam sealer as well, and we are ready for high build. So I'm probably going to give this about 3 hours, and we'll check it and we'll make sure what's what. It's pretty nice out today, though it's not super warm just yet. So once it gets a little bit warmer, this should flash off real fast. We've got all those little pieces done, hood prop rod, everything is ready for high build. So all we're doing is waiting on this to cure, and I'll be back with you hopefully in a little bit. If not, we'll pick up with it after the stuff is dry. So hang in there with me. More to come on Russel's CJ5 body. Okay guys, here we are in the booth again on Russel's CJ5, and it's towards the end of the day. I gave the epoxy a good 3 hours, and what you're looking at now is 1 gallon of the SPI turbo primer, which is their high build primer. So out of a gallon, because it's a 4-to-1 mix, you get 5 sprayable quarts, and I used every bit of that on all these pieces. Here's the fenders, a repair area, all in this area. Looks nice. Body's coming out nice and smooth like Russell wanted. And the dash is done. Windshield's finished now. The grill is looking real good. The hood I may still have to do some work to. It's just, well, I'll see how it sands out, but it's just not as good as I think a hood should be, you know, when you get a reproduction body. But I'll see how it sands out. Tailgate came out very nice. So everything is looking good, and I'm going to give it overnight to dry. You can sand this stuff fairly quickly. I find that it sands better if you give it more time. So we're going to let this sit overnight, and then we'll start sanding, and won't be long before we're squirting some Jet Set Blue Metallic on there. So that's all I have for you today, and as always, thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next one.